guys want to do. That's that.
Cool.
So I expect more tonight.
So I won't bore you with details. Like most of you look like familiar faces. You've heard about the program. Most of you looks like you've attended the roadshow events where we actually explain the program. If any of you have questions about it, let's do all that afterwards. We'll keep rocking. I'm only here because otherwise it's awkward if Ken just stands up and talks about himself and how rockstar he is. So my job is to reveal how rockstar he is. So my background, so I'm Aaron. I was the entrepreneur resident for the program last year. Now handing over to Ken. Let me start going on board. First day was what, 2 days ago? Monday. So baptism of fire. But it was one of the things we got asked the most when we were launching the program was who's taking over, who's it going to be, what have they done? And it's a really good question because I think the role is so critical to the program. So Ken has absolute ownership of this program, which will remind you if he fucks it up. But really, you should absolutely be looking at the program whether or not it suits you. Get to know Ken because he will be the front man in your face every day. Real bad.
Mostly bad.
Yeah. So there's a lot about you I don't know personally. You want to start with like the boring stuff, like the non-startup stuff you've done. Like, what did you study? Have you had a day job?
Yep. Okay, so I came, I'm going to go even further back. Yeah. So I came from a family that had absolutely nothing. We grew up on a little farm, and on our farm, I was the third child of the 4, and I always got nothing that was new. And we never had anything new. So it was always really bad. So I always had to fix things and make things and come up with ideas of how to get something for nothing. And it was like, well, from that point, I started making businesses ideas up from that to actually satisfy my needs of having things like all my friends did. As I grew up, I actually became, I moved to Canberra, the place where I lived, to Canberra, and I got a job working at ADC Telecommunications, which is one of the world's largest fiber optic companies. And it was just an ad in the paper, and I showed up. I got this ad, and it said, oh, go out there and pull up in your fight. Went out there, and they had all these questions to do, all these different questions, what you need to do, and I had to answer them. And they go, okay, you're staying. Next room. Okay, kept doing that. And then I got to the last room, and it was just me and this other guy in there, and they gave us this piece of paper and had all these random dots and lines and everything on that. It was all guesstimation and estimation, and all this sort of stuff that I'm kind of good at because I've never had anything, I just make ideas of it. And at the end of it, the other guy got fired, didn't get the job. But I did, and I was working on the dense wavelength division multiplexes for fiber optic couplings that go underground all across the world that make all the internet work. So that was like my first job, and I worked on a giant laser that was like from this wall to over there. It was a big gas laser, and I had to make these things that I didn't know what it was doing. It made the internet. This was in 1998. So I had streaming video and everything back then in the office I worked in. And then that company decided to leave Australia, and then I got a job for making solar panels for a company called Dysol. That's what used to be Sustainable Technologies, now it's Dysol. And we made solar panels that were transparent, and I was in charge of manufacturing solar panels that I had no idea what they were doing, except for making power sometimes. And I had to teach everybody else how to make these solar panels because nobody else could make them work. So we went through this whole process of working with physicists and all these smartest people in Australia from the ANU to get these things to work. And then that company got bought out by Japan, and I left, and my life went like still for a few months, and I didn't know what to do because I'd done all these cool things. Everybody else's jobs were like working in the government. I'm like, that's so boring. I don't want to go do that. And at that time, I came across a job working in the government because I was still in Canberra, but it was for a real estate company, and it was for a fitter and turner job, so a mechanical guy as an apprentice. And at that time I was 24, so I was like an older apprentice, and I went in there, I got the job, and I did 2 apprenticeships at once because I was bored, and I became a fitter and turner and a toolmaker at the same time, and I was taught by the most amazing people there was in Australia for manufacturing of mechanical things. And from that, I then moved on to a new role because I had the best boss in the world that let me do all these things within the mint to look after robotics that we had there. So I was doing CNC machining, which is computer numeric control machining. But then we got robots to do machining and robots to do packing. And nobody, because it's a government job, everyone was like, not my job, I'm not doing this. And I went, I'll do it, because it was interesting. And I took on all the automation at the mint. I won the first, the Public Service Award for Innovation, first time in 22 years. And I won it twice in a row because my boss and the CEO of the mint at the time said, hey, let's show this guy some sort of like recognition. I got given the award by the treasurer twice. The Prime Minister was there once, and the Queen I had to go see the following day to give her a new coin. So I did all this cool weird stuff, and people I got there. So and from that, sorry,
who did you beat out to get those ones?
No, just everyone else in the government, I guess. CSIRO. I beat the CSIRO. That was, well, the last guy I won was every time it's been won, it's from the CSIRO, and then the mint I won it twice, and that was pretty cool. And then, so I was working on robotics for some time and specialized in vision-guided robotics. I built many things for the minting industry that was to compare two sides of a coin. If you look at a coin, there's the heads and tails, the orientation between them. Now that's guaranteed to be within 2 degrees because of this machine vision system I made that was checking the die tooling to do it. And I ended up getting in a legal battle with the government, which I won to own the rights to it, and then we sold it off to the Canadian Mint, and I had to give the Royal Australian Mint rights to use it for 2 years. But then I sold the rights that I had to the French company that sold back to the Mint, and I got a bunch of money for that. And then the CEO of the Mint actually helped me with that, so that's kind of cool. Dr. Vivian Tom, she was awesome. And then, so there, that was that point. So I was getting like robotics and all this. It was like, Canva's kind of cool, but really boring. And then I got this opportunity to go and work with one of Australia's largest automation companies because they saw what I had built of all these machines. I built so many machines at the Mint, and actually they're still there, and they're all still working. And it's kind of weird because I go back there and you still use it. Like, well, it still works. It's the first time. And then I got off this job working for one of the largest automation companies. I'm not going to say bad things, but the guy that was running it I didn't get along with well. So I started my own company after I got all the training from them to work at Toyota, Holden, Ford, and Unilever, and everyone big. And I went and started my own industrial automation company and turned into one of Queensland's largest industrial automation companies in manufacturing. I then ended up leaving because of startups once I made a bunch of money. I used to work 2 days a week. That was so good. I don't know why I do startups. It doesn't make sense. But then I hit startups, so that's a whole backstory of what I do.
So that was pre-startup. So you're already invented, you're already winning with this renovation. So what made you take that leap into a startup?
My co-founder at the time, Hugh, who's a super smart guy, convinced me because he thought, it can't be that hard. I've seen people do this. Hugh had already had a startup in the past that failed miserably. I didn't fail miserably. He had bad investors, and that's why I kind of failed. And I'm like, this can't be too difficult. Like, I can make this. So I went home and built a mobile phone. So this was a company called Olo Mobile at the time. And what it was is for senior people, like if you might know the Life Alert in America, the fallen and I can't get up. For seniors, if they have an accident, they can press this button and at least AAA will be called. I'll come and help them. But the problem with that is that not all people wanted to wear them. And this was the problem with Hugh's grandma, who was his grandma at the time, had a fall and she wasn't wearing hers because it made her feel old. And it was like this weird stigma associated with it. So no old people wanted to wear these things. So we went, well, why don't they want to wear them? They said, we only calls 911 000 in Australia. It's like, well, who do you want to call? They said, I want to speak to my family more often. I just want to be safe and not be, this stigma of this horrible looking device like I'm wearing a garage door. So we made them a mobile phone with one button. And I did it on the dining room table. I think you've seen pictures of this thing. This is my dining room table. It probably took me a week to build a cell phone. And then we turned from that into a device this big. And then we got won OZAP awards in Australia. Like that was probably the biggest thing. After River Pitch that we did here, which we got terrible feedback on.
It was really pitch one.
Yeah, it was the first one ever. Yeah. We got terrible feedback. We never got accepted for iLab. iLab said our idea was ridiculous or something, and we never got in. But they felt bad for us, so they gave us some desk space. That was funny. And then Hugh is a really good. He's really smart, and he got better. He was terrible at pitching at the start, and he got better and better and better. We built the business from there, and then we won iAwards. Oh no, we won recognition. Came second to CSIRO under iAwards for our innovation there. I can't remember. We won all these things. I know Peter. Sorry,
You pitched that one.
No. Anyway, and we won all these ones in Western Australia, which is the biggest one, OZAP Awards in Australia. So if you want to build something in Australia, go to OZAP and pitch it there if you get through, because that's got a big network, and that's where I fell into this group of people that are really high net worths that like to invest in companies that actually aren't, they're not from Australia themselves. And from that, I met Bill Ty and everyone else. We got back in Qualcomm. That was part of the prize. And then we applied for Techstars in the US. And we went to the US, and we were the first ever Australian company for Techstars, which was a big thing for what we thought it was. Now there's so many other Australians doing it. But we did that, and then we got back by Sprint in the US, and we were there in Kansas City for 4 months. And we built our device that went from one size to another size to 7 generations of a cell phone with old people using it. And it was amazing to watch these old people use these phones because they were just calling their friends all the time. They didn't want to call their family, we found out. It was just like they wanted to chat to their friends. And because it only had one button, they press it and say, I want to speak to Jill. And it goes, okay. And they connected to Jill. Oh, what are you doing? But we had all this other magic in the back end of it that allowed the family to monitor if their mum got up or their dad got up. And that was the cool thing. That's what everybody sort of saw. These sort of cool things that we're building. We built a whole speech algorithm, natural language processing system. We built a whole digital telephony system. We built cell phones, and we tied it all together. It was crazy. I don't know why we did it.
4 startups.
3 or 4 startups in one. But we met all these amazing people along the way. As I said, we built Ty and his group, and we went to America. We went through Techstars. We learned so much. It was just like we were working with people from MIT. We worked at NASA. One of the girls had a previous job, was in charge of the biochemical unit that went to Mars on the rover unit. And I'm like, and she's sitting next to us going, oh, you're amazing. Can you make cell phones? I'm saying, you sent something to Mars. Like, yeah, so it was like having all those people around, having mentors around that were really keen on seeing things happen and not just saying, like, oh, you're doing a good job. I think you should do this. They're like, no, I know somebody who works within the Sprint radar, like in the antennas of the department system, this gentleman over here. And they would do testing for us, which would normally cost us like $14,000 a test. This guy was like, just do it for free. It was like changed our world. So we did that for a long time. We raised a lot more money, and then we ran out. And that was last year. And we made so many different devices. And we had deals pretty much with everyone that could have come through if we had probably had more money. And I come away from that going, just need more money.
How much have you raised in total?
I don't know. I'm not sure what we ended up taking.
How long was the journey from when you jumped in when Hugh started it?
So I was pretty much there from day one with Hugh. Hugh did a little bit of research, and then probably a couple of months I think he did before I came. But we were friends beforehand.
Was that like 2012?
Yeah, end of 2012.
So how much time have you spent in the US? With that startup?
That startup probably over a year. And then when it all ended, I stayed in the US and I found a niche for myself of building products for people in San Francisco and New York who had ideas, but they didn't know actually how to turn it into something. I had other people coming to me who had things but didn't know how to monetize them or find a customer. So that's why I came, because I had such a big network of people that I know that were actually willing to help, which was the big thing. I was actually able to convert these people into startups that didn't have funding to startups that actually had funding that were actually building things and building random things from like one of them I helped was a vape pen. It's a Bluetooth vape pen that's now the only first vape pen in the world is like as a connected device for the cannabis market, so it cuts off people from smoking too much. Because in America, you know, you're allowed to do that. So that's the thing. So there's like all these new markets. I helped another company in a mindfulness company just recently, and that's with Peter's brother Matt doing that. And that was in a new way of delivering mindfulness exercises and meditation, but through a medical platform. So the doctors were prescribing an app as a drug. So this is like the first time ever these things are starting to get through. And we were able to do it because we knew how to do it so fast. And I was so used to do it. Like, we're doing iterations in a weekend. Like, we built an app in a weekend. And we pushed it out, and then people were using it. And then we sort of learn from that, go again. And also then show, by doing that and showing the progress, we were raising money for these people. We raised money super fast. So I got really good at doing that.
It was the second time through Techstars.
There was a second time through Techstars. The vape pen went through YC, so they got through YC. A good friend of mine works for 500 Startups. She's one of the managing partners. I've helped with other companies that I've got in there and sort of get them moving on as well. Yeah.
So your experience through Techstars, how transformational was that in terms of how much impact did it actually have?
So my wife, she said to me, before I started any of this, she's like, I was just like this crazy person. And then when I went through this last 4 years and come out the end of it, she's like, I don't even know who you are anymore. Like, you know, all these weird people who have super yachts and like fly their own planes around and travel every 8 weeks and go kite surfing and that sort of thing. And she's like, how did you even do that? It's like, well, I don't know, I hate people. I don't like people. But I found if you talk to people and you talk to the right people, there's actually really good people out there. And that was the thing. And she's like, well, you know, you found the right people, you found your thing. So it changed my life completely from her eyes, and I think she sees me probably the best. What I've learned is, everybody who knows me, who knew me before, says similar things. They're like, you just are so different now. Like, you see things such differently.
You tan as well.
Yeah. But yeah, and I just kind of like helping people that want to get help.
Yeah.
And that's the thing I found. And if there's people out there who want to do the same, you can change your life. It can change a business's life from going from having 0 customers to having 4 billion impressions on an app in a month. And that's what we saw with one of our Good Friends teams from a connection that we had. So that was huge. 4 billion impressions in 1 month of your app.
So interrupt at any time if you've got some questions too. One thing I want to talk to you about is a bit about your philosophy and the way you think about things, the way you approach things. And starting with, why on earth do you want this job? Like, why do you want to be the entrepreneur business?
I just want to see people change. I'm sick of this mentality in Australia that I don't know, it's all right to fail because you're normal, and then you kind of brought back down to this horrible level again. That's why I see that continues to happen. It's like, no, you're better than, this person than this. Like, this is the thing I have. I want to see people standing out higher than other people for a particular reason, and having more of those people around actually build better businesses, make better lives for people, and that sort of thing. I'm a big advocate for Australia. We're never going to be a manufacturing country, but we have the best IP in the world because, we used to have it better, but we can generate IP better than anyone else. We just don't know how to execute on maintaining it and holding it. And the only way we can do that is if we try and keep trying and keep trying. Not just give up and go, it's all too difficult. Let's just leave it in the university. It's like, no, get people that are going through the university who own it, who know it, show them how to commercialize it, or get people around them who have done businesses as well to help them break through and turn Australia into this like big IP hub, like this big thing that we can own so many big businesses that everybody else uses. In the last 10 years, I've seen so many big Australian companies leave Australia that nobody even knows of because they're non-sexy sort of things. The big windmills and stuff, the big wind turbines, they're all made in China now. They're all the IPs still in Australia. The big desalination plants that go into Singapore, and they're all Australian IP. But we sold it all off. It's like, we just don't know the commercialize. And that's why I want to see that change. I want to see the execution change. I want to see people knowing how to commercialize.
I forgot to share. I forgot to introduce Audrey. So I'm going to embarrass Audrey. Audrey's from Miraday, Sydney. So what's your title? Like project manager?
No,
program. She manages a partnership between University Labs and Miraday.
Yeah.
But been up here since yesterday. Last week, if you missed it, we had Fiona from the Telstra team, so heads up legal counsel for Telstra Software Group, up here talking term sheets and investment docs and everything else for the program. But fantastic support. I just want to acknowledge it because I know you've got to get on time.
Yeah. 10 minutes.
Yeah. But yeah, so.
And that's actually the thing, like, Telstra is actually quite, like, from what I found, and this is what kind of got me interested, is actually Telstra is actually really involved in making this work. And it's not just like a 1 year thing. They've done it 3 years already in Sydney.
Yeah.
They've expanded it to Singapore and stuff like this, and now up here. This is a Miraday thing. It's called Miraday Local, as far as I'm aware. So it is that. The network they're building is going to be like an alumni that goes for forever. They are going to turn into something that actually carries through a lot longer. So it's not just like you're in it once and if it fails, that's the end. It's like, no, they want to see companies win more and more times. It's the same founders come back through, or they can teach other people that come like to actually do something. That's what they want to do. And Telstra is probably one of the few, really, like if you think about it, in Australia, there's not many companies that can actually go out there and put a lot out there and have it fail multiple times just to build up. You know, they're really good at like having things like that, but they come back. They still have like one of the fastest 4G networks there are, and stuff like that. Like they still build things. They try and fail, but they're still doing it. And now they're trying to build startups more and more. I think that's I'm really happy that Telstra's actually behind it.
Yeah, I'm going to say, like, my background last year, I was a bit skeptical about the Telstra involvement, but they've absolutely blown me away, and fundamentally, they're doing it for all the right reasons. Yeah. Like, they believe we need more and better entrepreneurs in this country actually having a crack. And they're not looking to make a return out of it. Your startup does not need to customer or whatever. Fantastic program, fantastic support. And you are absolutely part of it. Howdy, boys. I just noticed you. So the guys at the back were one of the teams in the last program, so Hunter. I might just steal you guys up at the end as well. So what we've been talking about that in particular, what do you say to people, like I hear this all the time, startups are always, accelerators are always time, I'm not going to apply for an accelerator, I'm not ready, I'm not this, I'm not that. Like that framing of like self-selecting out of going to an accelerator.
That happens everywhere. I think it's easy to make these artificial barriers for yourself. A lot of people do it. It's like, it's easy to make excuses. Your business is ready for an accelerator if you want to be able to focus on your business for a set amount of time and really put some metrics around, is this even working? I think that's the best way of putting it. You get some money out of it, which is good. So if you have a part-time job or a couple of founders have got part-time jobs, you can get them off that and to focus on it all together and go through this journey together, or find out that it's not working together. That's another thing. But probably most likely one of those three people that goes through will actually go on and do another one or another one and another one. And the other two will end up being good workers that will probably work with that person again in the future as well. A lot of people self-select out because they think what they know now is good enough. They think the networks they have now is good enough. And you can always learn more, man. Any startup, any person that has ever been in a startup knows that every single day you should be learning something and walking away going, wow, I did not know that. And I think that's what accelerators can do, especially like ones like this Miraday one, is that it helps you just focus on that. Focus on winning, focus on talking to the right people at the right time, and and just move your business fast forward, backwards, or round and round as you can in a set amount of time.
Yeah. So what do you say to people like that are part-time that make the things full-time?
Not doing it right. You've got a small business. Yeah, you're not committed to actually. You're not committed to your business. That's going to be the most riskiest, horriblest thing that you're going to do probably in your life, especially for first-time founders. It is horrible. And you can't even get the dole. It's like they say, "No, you're an entrepreneur." And they're like, "So can I get the dole?" No. It's like, what? I said, "Oh, because you own a business." There's stupid things like this. So like, there's not even any support in Australia. It's terrible. So you do actually have to stand up and actually be a bit of a leader and go, look, I'm going to try and do this because I believe in it. And you know what? I've already convinced somebody else because they've already given me their credit card number. You know, if I do this like another 10 times, you know, I can get somebody else to go and do this for me. And it's like taking some ownership of it and convincing people moving forward. A lot of people find that really hard. And you know this for yourself. Like pretty much any person that's not a first-time founder knows it's hard. Like the guys at the back probably would go out and do it all completely different the second time around. Third time, whatever you guys are up to.
Yes. And you're never comfortable. You always feel like a fraud. Like for me, my freak out moment is the moment I feel comfortable, like I actually know what I'm doing.
No, that's wrong.
Yeah, I freak out at that point. It's like I'm not pushing hard enough, I'm trying enough.
I get too bored.
Yeah, on the same attention span. Know the program. So what does the program really do for a startup?
Gives you time to focus. So I demand like quite high time on like in your business. You're not leaving your current job if that's the case, or ramping up the hours in a sense. It's like, no, this is a new thing that's going to be twice as intense as what you probably think it will be. And it's hard to really even comprehend how you're going to deal with it and the people around you are going to deal with it moving forward. I don't know, like it's a difficult thing to put down. I think what they're going to get from the mentors that we have coming through, which not just here in Brisbane, the ones that will come from Sydney and probably from internationally. I've got a group of people that are really going to come out. You just learn so much from them. And it might be that person themselves, it'll be somebody else that they know. And it's always been that for me. No doubt for yourself and anybody else that's been here. It's never the person that you're introduced to. It's like a fourth degree connection. And that's the thing that you get with the out. Which doesn't sound like much, but like I've got customers from people, thousands of customers. It's
Well, are there any questions for Ken about his background or?
Just learning about Olo, its demise, I wasn't aware.
yeah.
So, but the question I've got is one about passion.
Yeah.
So you repeatedly hear you've got to be passionate, you've got to live the life, you've got to do something. You've never been a 75-year-old woman that is a crippling needs, and yet you're solving a problem for someone who gets you might be able to resonate. So if Olo hadn't met its demise, I'm assuming on this question, I suppose you've seen it through. So how do you bridge that gap between passion, you've got passion for what you're doing, you believe in the outcome that you're delivering, versus the passion for when you were a kid, did you jump out of bed wanting to be solving 75 problems? To understand the question.
Kind of like using the question a bit. But
The gap in passion between who you are and what you're doing, and this is what you've lived and dreamt about all your life, versus you're solving a really important, strong problem.
well, I don't know. Like I think if you ask any entrepreneur, they have multiple problems that they want to solve. They don't have enough time in the day to solve all of them, and one will stand out more than the other one at a particular time. So, like I've always like helping people, as I've done a lot of stuff for a lot of places to actually help people that who need it. I think that's a thing. So it doesn't have to directly relate to a 75-year-old lady that could not, help herself. But I wanted to make sure that she had something that she could use herself to ensure that she was safe and happy and all that as well. It wasn't like driven by money in any way. Anybody that thinks that you're going to make a startup billions of dollars from day one, it's an idea, you're so far wrong. But it's a great thing to have to actually help, inspire you in those really bad times when everything's looking bad and everybody's yelling at you. And you're like, so close to getting that deal through. That's going to get us some money through. They have the passion to keep at it every day. It's a hard thing, but that's what an entrepreneur has. I don't know. How do you keep it? How do you keep focused on your drive?
I suck at focus for starters. But my passion comes from the size of the mountain that's left to be climbed. Like it's just like the bigger the, I don't know, there's something wrong with me, but the bigger the obstacle, the bigger the challenge. It's like I've got to go do that. And I'm my own worst critic. So, and the other thing as well, if someone tells me it can't be done or don't do that or don't, that I just have an adverse reaction.
That's pretty much every entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Speak to. Yeah.
So there's an intrinsic passion or
Drive.
need, regardless of the extrinsic problem itself.
Yeah, it's definitely it's internalized for me.
I think most entrepreneurs, especially as they develop further and further on their idea or multiple ideas that they do, drive to like, I don't know, wake up in the middle of the night, pull out a notebook and start writing something down, which means absolutely nothing. It's just like a couple of lines and some measurements or whatever it is, or who you should be talking. I don't know if I was ever really an entrepreneur. I just kept falling into different things and wanting to do stuff. Then somebody said, "Oh, you're an entrepreneur." I went, "What? Like, no, I just make things." Yeah, no, you're trying to solve problems that actually have a business behind. Is that what it is?
Yeah. Any other questions for Ken? Yeah.
Based on your experience, it's a lot of into the mechanical side of things. Now we are talking about a lot of digital startups. How's your transition experience?
So I got a software degree as well. So I wrote all the firmware, apps, and everything else on that side, and run big teams remotely as well, building Holo and all these other companies that I'm working with. So everything that I've been involved in for the last 4 or 5 years has been all digital, digital facing to most customers. So people who don't believe in hardware, well, why go to cell phone? Like it's a very important part of anything that does with software. With computers, anything like that, it's all has a hardware base, and it can. Get proof of concept out there and probably to get you to that next level. I spend as little time as possible, but I will write it in any single language and to just get it there.
So did you go to university straight after school? And I'm just interested in the degrees you did. You said you studied software.
I finished school, went off and did AC, telecommunications. I did a manufacturing certificate at that time. Then I went on to Dysol, Sustainable Technologies, doing solar panels there. I did another type of manufacturing thing there. And so I finished on the year 12 at that stage. And then I went off and got a job at the Mint, Royal Australian Mint. And then I did my apprenticeship there. So I became a mechanical fitter and turner and a toolmaker. So I did 2 apprenticeships there. And at the same time, just after that, I went off and did my computer science degree, Bachelor of Applied Science. So I always wanted to write down like import-export card in Australia, scientist. They changed the degree on me to like computer science. I'm like, this is horrible. But,
yeah, so for kids, you would encourage software and hardware knowledge and learning.
Yeah, I'm a big self-learner as well. I get on YouTube all the time and teach myself anything and everything. I don't think you actually have to have a degree to be very successful at something. I think you just got to be capable of doing something. And that is a big thing I do. I could probably have a degree in multiple things, I guess, but I don't have the time for it. Like, I'd get so bored. So I did that. So when I moved to America, I got a visa on that. I got this special visa because I had this science background, but a mechanical one. And they said, "Oh, you know what? You're not a traditional person of one sort of degree. You don't have these multiple disciplines at the same level. So I had to be reassessed for America for my visa, and they actually gave me this weird managing, I don't know, some like masters of something like that. I'm like, wow. And then I went around because I was looking for jobs at one stage in America. They're like, wow, we haven't seen one of these before. I'm like, yeah, it's really good. But I mean, because I just kept learning more and more things because I wanted to know how everything works. Like, I love business and how businesses work.
The other thing I should probably mention, so Nick Levinskas was the entrepreneur in residence for Sydney for the last 2.5 years. He spent a lot of time up here last program. He's now just moved to San Francisco. He's managing, I think, part of Salesforce Ventures Group or something.
Oh no, it was literally dedicated to the alumni. So alumni wanting to actually, incorporate overseas or go to China, Europe, or is it US? He'll help you.
Or talk to anybody over there.
Yeah, talk to anyone over there. Just go there to test it out, or actually flip up to the US or China or else. It's literally going to be helping you. So there's support beyond the program as well. It's not just 6 months and then we pick you up.
Yeah.
There's the support with the alumni, the mentors, and Nick and everyone else. So.
And that's a big thing. So on and on and on after your program, talking to other companies that have been through the very big programs anywhere in the world, and there'll be more and more. You'll be able to do that. You'll be able to talk to mentors. It's not just at the end and that's it. So there's huge value in that. People don't really see that, but being through so many programs, it's the best part. It's how we do it.
And yeah, the international missions. So there's a mission next month to Israel. That you guys also go to the US, you go to China. Yes, a fantastic international reach, particularly now mixed overseas. But also taking over from it now is Ben Sands. So entrepreneur around the US, lived there a long time. I can't remember how long.
4 or 5 years. His last startup, he raised about $73 million in the US. So we got it back on in wearables as well and AR, VR. It's just, it's like Ken. They're just awesome.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
So Ben will be up here a lot as well. So you should probably take a look at him, his background as well.
He's super smart, and he went through another American accelerator. He went through YC, I think, as well.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What's his surname, Aaron?
Sands.
Sand.
Sands?
Sand. I call him Sands.
I call him Sands too. And also Singapore has a new entrepreneur in residence whose name I'll tell you about.
Ed Dixon.
Yes. So I'm more than happy to make connections to those as well if you're curious. But really good network as well. A little bit conscious of time. I guess one thing, just so Ken's point of difference, I'm stoked to have Ken on board. I think he brings way more experience to me. He's got great connections in the US. The whole Bill Tie network, if you don't know who Bill Tie is, please go and Google.
Learn how to kite surf.
Yeah.
If you work in software or hardware tech, go to that. Build
Yeah.
the investment company, pretty much guaranteed.
But that international reach and technically, like Ken's out to bring them here, I think it's awesome for the program as well. Sorry, there's a question. Do you have a question? No.
2 questions.
You have one.
1.5. So what's your vision for the Accelerator program this year? So the first one, and the second one is, what are the changes or the new things you want to implement for the program?
My vision for it is to ensure people get as much out of the mentors that we can give them. And I'm really big on making the mentors really viable for that to happen. And I see that as a bigger term vision thing as well for Mirror because I think that will make it what it will be in the future. I really believe that. What was your second question?
What are the changes or new things that you want to implement?
Yeah, so the new things, I'm a big person on like learning things, and I expect people to be here probably a lot of hours. I have high expectations of myself. I want to see your businesses work probably more so than most of you guys. Not because I get anything out of it. Not yet. But I mean, I really want to see it work because I want to see Australia change, and that's the thing. I really want to see Brisbane change. I want to see Leicester change. So I'm going to be pretty much asking everybody who's in the program, all their founders, to be here every day. And I mean, like, that's Monday to Friday. Like, I'm going to say 9 to 5, but I mean, I worked 100%. We worked 7 days a week, and we got where we were. Pretty much all the teams that I've seen, if we put in huge amounts of hours, we're getting where they were. And that being said, is the team was doing it. It wasn't just one founder doing it. It was that the whole team was there, and that's what really pushed them along. And that's a hard commitment. It's super hard for most people. Families, money, children, whatever, wind and weather, being living outside, you can't do it.
Yeah, I want to give shout outs to a couple of founders. So Matt Rowan, who was Process PA, when he got into the program, I think he was 3 or 6 months off his 10-year-long service leave, but quit his job to do the startup full time with the program. Andrea, who lives on the Sunshine Coast, honestly, she was in here most mornings before I was. We were talking 6, 7 in the morning. She would stay here in Brisbane. She had young kids at home, but just gave her all to be here every day, and probably as an individual in the program, gave more than anyone else.
But that's awesome. That's the thing.
Yeah, Ryan, PE teacher, quit his job at a private school, jumped in full time. They had their 4th kid just after the program. The boys at the back, so the punter boys. So Nick, you were Sunny Coast.
Yep.
So, but as soon as I got the program, rented a house here in Brisbane, lived together, worked 24/7 except for when they're out drinking.
Compared part of it sometimes.
Yeah. But I'll compare it, and the other team might be mentioning this, but Squad, who they're shutting up, they were commuting every day from the Gold Coast. And inevitably a train would be late or something would happen, they'd miss a session, whatever, and it was noticeable the impact it had. So I'd encourage you, co-locate, but get your ass in here every hour of every day. The intangibles that walk through this door and the random conversations that we have with a visiting VC who just wants to guest for a few hours and ends up mentoring, or some random ass connection at the Friday drinks who says, hey, I know someone doing this. And those connections, we cannot, we don't know who's going to walk through the door and what those conversations are going to be, but they always happen. And it's such random. So, I might steal the guy. So Nick's CEO of Hunter. I can actually honestly say probably one of the better performing teams in the program. I love what they're doing too. Do you want to give you a pitch of what you do?
Yeah, sure. So,
You have one.
speak well. G'day everyone. My name is Nick Kenny. Hunter. We're peer-to-peer social media. We essentially allow anyone to come on board, place custom bets with each other, share and engage around those bets socially, and actually get paid all on your mobile. So that's my very short pitch.
And for context, so the gambling application, it caused a bit of an issue when we selected them internally at Telstra, not Mirror-D, but Annie Parker, who's the co-founder of Mirror-D, said, no, we will make this happen, we will get this approved. Navigated internally at Telstra to do whatever magic she did, but also have you in the program. So for you, what's the benefit of the program? What did you do well? What did you suck at?
Yeah. So benefit for us, we entered the program. We didn't have a product in the market. We didn't have a technical co-founder, which Steve Baxter let us know about repeatedly. And from that period, we got a product out. We raised nearly $1 million in funding. We've now got a team of 7. Every hire we've had has been technical, which was filling that large gap we had.
Technicals too, mostly technicals.
Exactly. We're building a software business at the end of the day. And we recognised that was our sort of glaring hole, and that was the reason we were in the program, to educate ourselves and that. What did we get out of it? So we were in disparate locations. So I was Sunny Coast, Damon was in out of Brisbane, and Jordan was in Vanuatu. I think you're from Vanuatu.
No, you probably do.
Apologies. So we all came together, we got a share house, and probably the biggest thing we got out of it was just focus, accountability. Aaron was on our ass on a pretty regular basis, but it's what we needed. It just, it's not me wielding a big stick, it's someone else, and it allows the team to really come together and focus on those outcomes. And I think that was probably the number one. In terms of the positives, as you mentioned, the networks were massively beneficial. Those sort of chance meetings, serendipity of being around certain locations and you don't know what's going to come out of it. And so many times that's been something that's helped us get a hire or helped us introduce us to an investor or whatever it was. I think, literally the acceleration has been there as a result. Things that probably could be improved for the next program. I think where you're heading with really getting maximum value out of the mentors and getting the right people around. So I think there were a few sessions that were a bit fluffy, and we've talked about this. yeah, beyond that, I think, yeah, for me, it was really the focus, the accountability at the end of the day, helping us find those technical resources. So Pete gave us a massive leg up there. Darren Rogan was our interim CTO while we were running the program. And we definitely wouldn't be where we are today without that support. So cheers for that, guys. Yeah, I think you've probably touched on most of the key things. We can have an offline chat about what else we can sort of tweak, and we've had the honest, brutally honest feedback conversation. But I think all in all, anyone that's sitting across there that's thinking about joining it, heavily recommend it, and it looks like it's only going to get bigger and better. I guess one of the key sort of anecdotes I heard recently was one of the guys I went through PwC with, who's an absolute gun. He's doing a startup here in Brisbane, and he went down to the Mira D presentations in Sydney, the recent ones, and he just said he was blown away. And he's like a no bullshit kind of guy, and he just said the quality mentoring, the new mentor residents down there, he was just massively impressed. And he said, you know, 5 or 10 years down the road, the alumni and the mentorship around this program is going to be huge. So getting in at the ground floor now is really awesome for everyone to start.
Cool. Any questions for Nick while he's up there?
How difficult was it finding your
Finding none. So for us, yeah, we actually got a really junior guy to start, and there's probably some hilarious stories around that. But we had Darren Rogan initially. He was probably our first technical mentor. Yeah, so I mean, he steered us in this direction, and that was our first experience with City Labs, and it was a great first experience. We then got Darren Rogan, which was who was a mentor in residence here as well. He came on board as an interim CTO, and we basically got a junior guy. Damon interviewed him. He came out of QUT, and it was pretty fortuitous actually, as the only bloke out of all the application process that called us. Everyone else email or text, and so we're like, okay, he's willing to put himself out there as an 18, 19-year-old kid. He's actually a gun, and then we're fortunate enough to he comes with some other side benefits. But then we were fortunate enough through Darren, through the network again, to he basically just called up a bunch of guys he'd worked with and heavily recommended, and we sprint through that. And he basically forced one guy to join us at the end of the day and said, "Quit your job. It's the right decision." And we got it over the line. So again, it comes back to being in the program, the mentors, the guys around it, but. Yeah, if you're looking for those co-founders, it's a journey that took us, 12, 13 months to get the right guy.
It's just the way the market is.
Yeah.
I wish I'd studied coding at university.
University, you can do it in 3 months.
Any other questions for Nick?
So what was special about your on-top that so that you guys went out and get any tips for the application?
Maybe Aaron can comment on our team personally, but I guess tips for the program: hustle bloody hard. Like if there's a task given to you, or this application process, or Aaron asks you to do something, or any of the guys ask you to do anything, show your initiative. At the end of the day, this business is about it doesn't matter whether you're the dumbest or the smartest person in the room. It's the people that work the hardest that generally seem to. You're going to encounter so many hurdles. I think what these guys are looking for are people that are actually going to stick it out, constantly move forward, constantly hit milestones, and sort of push through the barriers. And I think a great way to indicate that is to, if anything's asked of you, do it literally straight away. Don't wait a week, don't wait 3 weeks. I think that's sort of like a big thing for us. What else in the application process?
No, honestly, it was definitely about attitude and ability to execute. So fundamentally, you can fix skills, you can't fix attitude, or at least not as easily. So interaction with everyone during the roadshow, during the selection process, interview, everything, we would give little micro tests. We challenge them to do things, and those that actually did it, they came and execute the crap out of what they were doing. The last thing we want is someone who's going to sit in the program and not do it, like just go nowhere. If you can't help yourself, then fuck if we're going to do it for you. Like,
I'm not here to be a CEO, co-founder. That's real bad because then you're not letting it do yourself. Then you would either say that yourself and Aaron, you can do everything for you. But you wouldn't be where you are now.
I think the benefit was just holding us accountable. At the end of the day, it's like, someone else is there to help you tick those milestones off and make sure that you guys are doing what you're meant to be doing. But at the end of the day, it comes back to you and your small team. If you're not going to do it, no one's going to do it for you. So I think it's just that constant motivation and self-motivation to do it, display that to these guys, and that really comes through. I think you look at the teams, and that's generally what you have. It's like we went through the boot camp, and some people were dropping off and didn't feel like it was them or weren't heavily engaged, and we're constantly moving forward, executing, and putting themselves forward. Like Baron said, get up the pitch, be straight up there. You're not sitting at the back waiting for the 12 person. You just give it a crack.
I've got a friend who's on that. Friend who's an investor who goes to a lot of investor pitch things, but he only listens to the first three. Because most of the time it's a nomination of who gets in first gets the pitch. And that's it. So it's like be in there, take the opportunity whenever it shows up, just like give it a go. And most of the time we'll have more chance of actually getting something out of it. Sure. You're the last person. Nobody wants that.
One of the big criteria that comes through is the ability to be coached as well. There's nothing more frustrating from a mentoring perspective than taking people through something, having not understanding. If they understand it and choose not to do it, awesome. That sounds great. Decision to not do it. But if you get told that there's stuff you need to do and you don't even attempt to do any of it, it's just not worth the effort. I hear people tie that into coachability or whatever it is, or you invest in a team. But if you've got that capability to learn, it doesn't matter how crap you are at the moment, you're just going to go through this trajectory, which is what you mentioned before.
Yeah.
Use pitching, for example, right?
But even for myself, like just changing as a person, being able to listen, not action everything. You don't have to action everything everyone tells you. That's one thing to learn. That's a good entrepreneur.
You got to listen, though. Right?
You got to listen, and you got to understand what's happening and why they're telling you. And sometimes you'll think it's the worst, stupidest idea, stupidest thing ever. And then 2 weeks later, you're like, you should have done it 2 weeks ago. And then other times you're like, I'm glad we can do that.
I'm conscious of time. Any other questions for Ken or Nick?
Question about hiring, for you, Nick, specifically, but we both have a few on this. So, you believe in yourselves, you believe in your team, this goes around to come into the course, but then bringing people on. And I'm a salesman, I'm a crap buyer, and I don't believe what you tell me. So I know I'm going to be pretty bad at hiring, but you need people around you that are ideally as well. So how did you actually plan?
Yeah, so I think we were fortunate. David and I worked on a startup for 2 or 3 years before, and David was the other guy I'd comfortably started with out of the 3 other guys in that startup. Like you see work ethic, you see passion, you see drive, you see a certain skill set. And I think one of the other things they're looking for is probably a team that can execute. Part of that is you've got a diverse team, so we didn't have the technical, but I think we sort of came in with all the answers around how we're looking to do that, and that was the reason we're trying to get into the program. And we had a number of steps we wanted support with. So getting someone like Peter Aaron to help us screen 10 potential candidates we'd already looked at, and give us feedback. So we're showing initiative. In terms of the team, we came in pretty diverse. So we had a guy with gambling, trading, horse training experience. So he was our sort of industry expert. I came in with legal management consulting, so I was sort of commercial, and Damon was branding and product. So while we didn't have technical, we had something solid. In terms of the hiring, it's been really difficult in the tech, and that's where you've got to surround yourself, as you said, with fast-minded people like yourself that can sniff out whether those sort of people are the right people and put them through their paces. So if someone comes to me commercially, I can sense, I don't step through and give tasks and all sorts of things. It's a tech thing. I think our first tech interview was the guy, Damon asked if he was doing Java, and he said Java or JavaScript, and Damon was like, oh, is there a difference? So it was about that time we had to give someone like Peter a call for a second interview. So the first one was a cultural fit.
Which is super important. Sometimes people just grow into the role or learn the stuff that needs to be learned.
So like we got a good read on certain elements, and then we said, okay, now can you go meet with Darren and Pete and run through some technical tests and those sorts of things, and then okay, we've got a good cultural fit, we've got a good technical fit. Okay, he's probably our guy. So yeah, we've learned a lot, and that's the thing. Like I by no stretch of the imagination would say that I'm anywhere expert in the HR, and we're about to hire a full technical guy, and we're having our continued problems in that process. Like I feel like technical just seems to be a whole other world in hiring, but maybe that's just my lack of skill set.
Like everybody has like this ego with
it's more of a cultural fit. I found that with any team that I've worked in or been part of or sort of help grow and bring into other teams, is they can't work together. It doesn't matter how smart they are. Like, there's no point in trying to work together because they're not even going to be able to talk to each other in the same way. Some guys used to send in an email with dot points and all this, and the other guys used to get in on the phone and talking to the guy and saying, you know, this is the problem. It's like this communication is not even working. So it's a big failure if the teams can't even communicate, they can't get along, and they can't even work together. It's simple.
If you can't get it right when you're a 6-person team or sitting together,
It's not going to work. It's a 20-person team.
Exactly. So yeah, I don't know if that answers your question.
Awesome.
Convincing somebody, if you're a single founder, you're trying to find a co-founder or multiple co-founders, it can be hard. You're trying to find that passion and that drive to see this thing that you so believe in as well to convince somebody else. It's not. It's kind of a sales pitch, but it's not. They really have to believe it. Not just buy it, not just drink the Kool-Aid. They actually have to make the Kool-Aid.
It's been an hour, so we'll probably call it. Please feel free to hang around, ask Ken questions, talk to Nick about the program, get really honest feedback. I can definitely help with any questions about the program itself, but you should all have a chance to chat to Ken while he's here as well. Awesome, thanks very much. Appreciate you all coming along, and thanks to Ken.